Hello guys, in today's video what I want to do is I'm going to be going over the estate creator, aka the editor which you build estates in. This also is kind of the same as the map editor, but I want to make a video for people who are just trying to figure it out or need a refresher and it's been a while. I want to cover basically all the options, controls, basically everything about it. In like talking about terms and what everything does. So that way, hopefully, people can build more maps because I think it's a lot of fun. And some people just can't take the first step of figuring out what to even do and kind of how to do it. So I'm not gonna be, directly being like, you gotta place this down and build this kind of thing. I'm just going to be explaining the bare basics of this so that way people can get a understanding before jumping in to big insane projects. I'm currently on my second estate that I am in the works of building. It's actually turning out really cool. I'm liking it, so we're going to be using it as our sort of base to mess around with today while I am doing this. So without further ado, let's jump straight into this. First things first, you obviously want to be on your estate. It's going to look a lot different than mine because, well, usually it's at a value of either 18k or 0, depending on if you deleted all the stuff. But the first thing that I recommend doing if you guys are building is making sure everything is deleted. How you do that is you go to My Estates and you go to Empty My Estate. That's going to empty everything, reset everything to 0, and is going to be hopeful to prevent sort of weird lag or stuff that you don't want to be there. Now, obviously, the first thing that you will see is your estate value and estate options. You want to click on estate options, and that brings up this tab here. Once you're in here, you're going to see edit estate information. This is where you can add the title, the description, all this stuff right here. So yeah, the name, not title, description, tags, poster, everything like that. What the poster is going to be the picture for the map. So basically it's going to bring you into photo mode, and that allows you to get the photo for the map. Not obviously going to take it there, but that's what that is. And then you have your shared changes, which is anything that you do to the estate. You really want to click this button to make sure nothing gets reverted. So make sure you remember this. Save changes, and what that's going to do is it's going to bring you... Normally, it will bring you to the options where you can either override a file or add a file. I didn't get it because I haven't done anything, but that is very important. Make sure you save your changes, especially if you're going out of the builder. Even though it does save changes already kind of for you, you have to do that thing. But just get in the rhythm of that because it is very helpful because you don't want to lose any of your progress. Now, the estate builder. This is the main thing we're going to be talking about today, so let's get into it. First, when you open this up, again, you're going to see the estate value, the estate, selection mode, prop limit, prop select, and then in the controls, under controls, we have edit object, delete object, clone, and then you have credits, total spent on the estate itself, and then we have options, prop library, and leave. So, all this stuff, it's a lot. Well, it's not a lot, but it could be a lot. Some people, and I'm going to be explaining everything. So obviously, estate value, that is basically how much your estate is worth. You have your credits at the bottom and total amount of spent. This is all in one category, I feel like. Basically, total amount that you spend is when you're in the editor and you're placing things. So let's just do this real quick. As you can see, that goes up. That is how much you're spending while you're building. So it's kind of one of those things. So basically, be wary about the money you have. The second thing we're going to be going through is controls. We're going to skip over the estate kind of section there, just because controls is really important to get out of the way. First things first, edit object. What this means is if you have something placed, again, we'll get into how you place stuff in a little bit, but it's good to understand the controls. If you have something placed, again, like this little track piece that I have here, if you click A or whatever it may be for you, you're going to be able to obviously select that piece and then be able to move it and do whatever. That's essentially what it does. It just allows you to pick things up and move things around. Next thing, you have delete. What this does is delete the piece that you're looking at. Next thing we have is clone, which is Y. For me, that is going to be able to clone the piece. As you can see, we have the old piece here and we have the new piece here. So that's really useful. If you're trying to do an area, you can just go like this, which is basically what I did here. And finally, we have the undo, which you guys kind of already saw me click. Essentially, if you delete something and you're like, oh, I want that back, you click on LB or whatever it may be for you, and that's going to allow you to get that piece back. You can also do the redo button, which then resets it to where it was before, but I want this piece, so we're going to be leaving that. Also, something very important is this is your up for elevation, and this is your down for going down elevation. That is something that is not noted here, but is very useful, especially when you're trying to get around. So keep that in mind. Again, up, down. The next thing we're going to be going into is prop library, which is at the bottom. This is the 3 lines button for me. Clicking that opens up this. This is essentially where you grab all your pieces from. The best way to explain it is the first category is like your basis. This is where you kind of grab things for starting your map, essentially. Especially like this grass piece right here. This is what allows to get this beautiful grass right here. And then it has a bunch of other pieces like the ramps and platforms. This is essentially just kind of miscellaneous stuff that you can add to your map. It's really, really cool. But basically, it's like your building foundation block to allow you to place everything else. That's essentially how I see it. In the roads and racing, this is where you're going to get your pavements and your roads, and also your highways, if you want to add a highway. Then you have all your racing stuff, like barriers, garages, and kind of everything race related. So you also have tunnels, which is really cool. And then you have your like oval kind of bank stuff for oval tracks. And then you also have grandstands. So bunch of cool stuff in here. Essentially, this is like kind of, I say the second thing you do. But you can either start with the roads first, or you can start with the foundation first, which is your grass. But that's that. And then you have your walls and fences. This is where you start getting into them more. There's a word that I'm forgetting here. Wow, brain fart. This is insane. Decorative. There we go. Not decorative. That's not a word. Decorative stuff. So this is where your walls and fences are. Pretty straightforward what this is all about in here. I didn't know that was there. That's kind of cool. You know, always finding new stuff. But, yeah. So, just walls and fences. That's really it. Then you have signs and flags. Again, obvious. I'm not going to look through that. Festival. This is where the festival stuff is. At least some of it. It's pretty unique stuff here. Nature. This is, again, for that decorative factor of adding trees around and adding the life into the map. Decoration. It's decoration. Garage stuff, again, more decorative stuff, but could be very useful. Lighting. This is something that allows your map to come to life, especially when it's at nighttime, because you definitely need lighting around. Miscellaneous, this is where all the extra stuff goes. Literally. Like googly eyes. This would be kind of cool to add somewheres, but I don't know. Gameplay stuff, this is stuff you can break, essentially, and sort of stuff for, like, possible mini-games and stuff. Industrial, pretty obvious. This is all the industrial stuff. Urban, city stuff. Rural, or royal, you know, I can't speak. This is more like rundown kind of shacks and kind of stuff that is also a little miscellaneous. But it's very cool. Like solar panels, pretty sick. Vehicles, straightforward. Car park, straightforward. This is for car park stuff. And shapes and dinosaurs. So I'm going to get into prefabs a little bit later, but we have some things to cover first before we get to there. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is finally the estate section. This is where select mode is and your prop limit and prop selected. I'm going to be talking about the prop limit first before talking about everything selected related. Starting out prop limit, that's the amount of props that you have currently in the map. It goes up to 100%, I believe, and essentially it just allows you to keep track of how much you're placing and what you can place. So, selection mode. First things first, prop selected, 0 to 100. 100 is the max that you can select. How you get into selection mode, it shows by hitting right on your analog stick, which is this for me. This is so tattered. But this brings you into selection mode. What that is it allows you to select things to sort of do more things at once. So we have add to selection, which is A. Then we have hold A for selection sphere and remove. What that looks like is clicking A normally, just one click allows you to do that. X allows you to remove it. And finally, holding A makes a sphere. I'm not trying to do too much because it selects so much. I think I can. Come on. This is the one problem when you place too much, and then I chose the worst area to do this. Why trees? Oh my! I'm not gonna be able to get that ever, am I? No, this is bad. Bad ideas. I can get like this grass, but I can't get this grass. Like what? Sometimes you can like. Come on, please, please. Okay, I think if I do this, and then I do that, and then I'm smart. Now that all that's dealt with, I can talk about selection. So when you're in selection mode and you select two or more things, when you go out of selection mode, so you click right on analog stick, again, that allows you to kind of pick things up in a group. So again, edit, so click A. You can move two or more things around. You can only do a selection mode, obviously, with two or more things, because if you're trying to select one thing, you could just do that normally. But that is that. And then also you can delete two things, which then does that. So you click yes on that if you want to delete it. Or you can clone, which is super, super helpful. And you can clone multiple things at a time, which is very nice. So now let's actually get into how you play stuff. It's pretty simple. Basically, you want to go into your prop library, select anything you want to place. In this case, I'm going to get the grass. So basically, you select the object, and then you select which one you want, and then that brings it here. This adds a little bit more stuff. So we have prop placement. There is precision camera. I don't really use it, and I don't really... Oh, okay, so it just slows you down. Good to know. So if you want a slow camera, that's what that does, or a fast camera, or however you have it set. I'll show you guys how you can change that as well. Then the controls. We have place object, which allows you to place it down when you're in this state. We have stamp, which basically does the clone, but allows you to place multiple different things. And then finally, we have height, which again is what I was talking about with going up and down. We have rotate, which allows you to turn it 360 degrees around like this. Then we have pitch, which does our angle. And then we have roll, which rolls it in a barrel roll, essentially. Then we have reset object, which is very useful. If you do something that you don't want to do by mistake, you can reset it to 0. So now that I've shown you guys that, let's go into options down at the bottom. This is the 2-box looking thing option on Xbox, but again, just see what options is for you. Onto here, we have show controls, which if you turn this off, that turns off the controls. I like to have it on because it's just helpful. We have step rotation. If you turn this on, it basically does it in steps instead of a more fluent uh, kind of motion. Both of these could be useful in some cases, but I like to have it off just to have it fluent because I think it helps more. Then with the step amount, this allows you to change how drastic or non-drastic, essentially, the turns are. Precision camera mode speed allows you to change your precision speed when you're in that mode, which is this camera right here. When I was talking about the camera slow, that's how you change it for that. But you also have camera speed, which is your normal camera. This when you're in this mode, and also when you're with this without the precision camera. You can change the speed depending on if you want slow, which is like this. I don't recommend slow. It's a little too slow. Like look at this. I'm barely moving. Like there's my car. But then we have medium, which is a speed I like. It's not too quick, not too slow. Allows you to get around still. And then finally we have fast, so you can just go wee around your map. Maybe if you want to get like a quick overview kind of shot, like I just did there, kind of. But medium is where I like my building speed at. Next up, the one that I skipped over is camera mode. This allows you to be free cam or orbit. So orbit is kind of as it says with the like anchor point. So you're kind of orbiting around this little hand here, and it's fine if you want to use this. I think free cam is a little better. It just allows for more movement and more range. Um, but both is an option, and I think that is really cool. Because as you see, free cam is like this. It's like your first person, but you're actually able to look around. Um, Finally, we have attachment notes. This thing is very useful, and I definitely recommend to turn this setting on, especially when you're placing roads. Now, what attachment notes does is it actually shows you where the attachment point is for each individual different thing you have placed. So it can be like these cubes, it can be the road, it can be literally everything. Every single orb you see is an attachment node. So all the green stuff. And essentially what this does is if you place something down, sometimes it can be a little finicky when you turn it on, but as you can see, you will have a attachment node on your piece. And what this does is it instantly connects it together, allowing a nice seamless connection, which is really, really useful, especially when you're building stuff like this and makes tracks a lot easier to drive on. Whew. Man, that was that was a lot of talking. But I hope you guys found this helpful. This, of course, is just like the first little thing. If you guys want me to share more stuff on like how I kind of build things or anything like that, just let me know down in the comments. Because I don't really know what to share for like how I would build a map. I just wanted to do this as a sort of beginner guide, if you will, on how everything works in the creator and how you can start creating your maps. I'm not trying to force people in any way to have a style of building, which is why I'm not like, this is how you should place your roads, this is how you should do that, because I think that limits people's creativity, and that is the main thing of map creating, is creativity and having your own style. But if you guys do want to see kind of how I do things, I would love to make a video where I break down kind of making maps, and maybe even a part of this, because you guys have seen, well, most of it now since I'm hovering over like this. But really quickly, I love how this place is turning out, especially over here. It looks so cool. Like, sorry, I'm just I'm happy about my work, okay? But I'm so excited to share this map with you guys. It's gonna be so cool. I'm going for a whole different style than my first estate, which you guys haven't seen. Um, it will be hopefully in the description down below, as well as in my Forza Horizon 6 playlist on my channel. So if you guys want to go see that, do that, because um, in there I kind of tour guide that one, and I've learned a lot since that, and I think it kind of shows because this is beautiful. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if it helped you guys at all at any point, please consider hitting that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.